So welcome everybody. Now, the need for public-private dialogue in that process is obviously central. We all know the challenges are pretty big, but when it comes to the solutions, there's lots of different ideas. So let's talk about those solutions today, and let's talk about how and who can ensure reliable, sustainable, and modern energy in Europe.
We evaluate against a policy target. So this means even if the situation is improving, but not enough in order to reach the target, if the trend continues like that, then our assessment is that there is insufficient progress, for example, or even movement away from the EU target. The share of renewable energy is rising, but you see that the target of 32%, that's still quite a way to go. I mean, it's not the whole timeline. We've shortened it between 2019 and 2030, but anyway, we have to become more ambitious.
What will make or break the Green Deal and the future of climate policies globally is where and how we produce enough clean energy, clean electricity, and therefore also clean molecules, green molecules that need to feed in our systems today, starting from today, because we only have 10 years.
We talk about climate neutrality, which is a very interesting definition. I like to talk about zero carbon, which is a different thing. We have the devices to make things efficient, and we need to put the money, we need to get the money to those technologies to accelerate the process. Those countries that are best placed in the world are those that have access to digital technologies.
Markets will not make the choices because companies pursue a short-term perspective. And it's not me saying that, it is Vice Executive President Timmermans who answered the question about what prevents markets or governments saying exactly that we need to regulate. How do we produce? What resources? We need to create a system of circularity also for those resources, because those are the batteries of the future. Those are the materials required, the metals required, the rare earths required. Telecoms are not working on compressed sensing. Huawei is. This is a point of research that needs to be strengthened, because compressed sensing can decrease the energy consumption and increase the energy efficiency of how we can tackle data.
Once you deploy digital, you get a benefit 10 times higher than your own footprint. We're talking about 20% of the global emissions. 20%. So we could decouple growth from carbon emissions.
I think so. In general, transport is still a very big issue, and this transition to soft mobility, that's a big challenge.
You really need to bring the public and the private sector together in cooperating to address what is a common challenge that we are facing. And if I take, for example, the Green Deal and the Fit for 55, which, by the way, I consider to be landmark initiatives at the European level. My only concern is not enough. Is too slow. My vision, my perspective is that both have to be bolder and more challenging. But it was a great step, and it is a great step that I think that we need to walk. But those two initiatives, they can only be realized through public partnerships, public-private partnerships. Otherwise, we will not get to the point that we need to be.
In my opinion, at the moment there is not too much. I mean, there is things going on in terms of public-private connection, but I see what was mentioned before about the fragmentation that we have in Europe. That is really creating difficult playground for this to really happen between who matters.
Public-private partnership against this becomes a question of responsible citizens that I was thinking of before. Accelerating collaboration and innovation is what we need today, and also accelerating ways to respect nature-based solutions and integrate them.
So, we are very realize that the urgency of to moving forward and ensure affordable, reliable, and sustainable modern energies for all by 2030. Okay, I mean, as you mentioned, that this is not only Europe, across the whole world. By 2025, the global communication size, the towers will consume around 2% of the global consumption of the electricities. Okay, so imagine that if we can have 20% of the efficiency improvement, will be a very relevant amount. We have algorithms, big data, we have the material science in order to make our community size more efficient for the power consumptions. Last year, the company invested totally 18 billion euros just for the innovations. That's allow Huawei ranking global number 3 in terms of the investors. We have more than 100,000 engineers globally, and there are around 3,000 here in Europe. But the future electric vehicle industry are totally different from the traditional one. It's also relevant to our industries, especially here in Europe. Okay, and Huawei already working more than 5 years. This year we invest more than 1 billion euros and 5,000 engineers to research and develop the intelligent, the green components for the future vehicles.
But thanks again for joining us, and I wish you a great rest of your day.